Hi and welcome to today's stream. Today we're streaming again Formula 1 2017. So I'm a little bit late today. I do apologise for starting the stream. I just wanted to check one thing before we go on. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay. So today it's Sochi, and if you were involved at all yesterday with my live stream, you'll know that we had a little bit of a problem with things like the gearbox and things like this. The Haas seems to be really far behind when it comes to that type of stuff, so I've had to change out some gearboxes and all sorts. It's been a little bit of a show, if we can use those words nicely. And really, I did okay in the race. Came 5th, managed to do alright for myself, but we really haven't got any points to work with at the moment. So I'll just give you a look at pretty much how far off we are. You'll have a look that everything here was won. These number ones. It jumps over to number 5. I'm sorry about that, but there's not a lot I can do with that. So we basically had to get a new set because I know that these are done. Okay, so we're looking at reliability. So when we have to fit a new one, we're going to get a grid penalty if we have to do it, but you know, that's just something we're going to have to look at. We also took another gearbox because in reality, if I could have taken 2 or 3 more gearboxes, I'd have done that and taken the penalty. Unfortunately, Codemasters realised that we might do a McLaren and do that, so they've kind of limited it to 1, which isn't very fair, but I'll take it. It'll mean that every 8 races, I'll have to, not in 8 races, I'll have to take another hit, probably every 2 races, unless we can get our development track down. Which, if we have a look at the R&D tree, we've already started working on durability. We've already got durability on our turbocharger, our MG UK, our MG UH. So those things we've gone for, but now we're having to look at the gearbox. Yeah, we really have to work on this because these are big problems for the Haas, really big problems. And we need to get, there's 3 extra bits we really need to start getting work on. Even the control, electronics, all of this we're going to have to really get to work on. Otherwise, we're just going to take penalty hit after penalty hit, and that's going to be a big problem. So, but at least we know where we're going. We also know that mechanical grip is terrible. But I think that once we've got all the durability of the car down, then we can look at aerodynamics and everything else and really push on in that area. So I think that really we just have to look at durability for now, and it's the only option. Luckily, I've been driving alright, so that's a half decent thing. I've been getting some decent results, so it's not the be all and end all. You know, we can do quite well if we keep going at the way we've been going. I'm just trying to find the standings. Okay, so driver standings. I'm in 5th. I've managed to accumulate 26 points over 3 races, which isn't too bad. And the constructors champion, we're just above Williams, which is better than we would expect to be doing. I think we'd expect to be in 7th, so we're not doing too bad. And now we're going to move on to the next weekend, which will be Sochi. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one today because I actually really like Sochi as a track. It's one of the ones I don't think about when I think about the F1 calendar, but I do enjoy it as a track, genuinely. So.
Hey, our upgrade pace racers looking solid right now, but I do think we need to push harder if we want to stay competitive. Here's the report.
Okay, so I've never seen this before, but it's not a brilliant report, but it tells us the comparison with the other teams, apparently. Which is okay. So what I'd like him to really say is, oh, we can put some more time into development if you want. That's not going to happen, so unfortunately. So all of this is 00000, so basically we've got a new unit, a lovely unit for this race, which is really what we need. And so the other pad is the other pad is that we really have to concentrate on. I never knew this before the game. I think when I play my second career I'll know much better and be able to do it. Is that the gearbox has to last 6 races, regardless. If you take it out, you're getting a grid penalty. You have no option. So even though you have these nice 4 fresh ones here at the bottom, you take a grid penalty when you change it, unless you complete the required number of races. So that's quite important to know. Now I thought, now I don't know why, but currently fitted 5. Okay, so I panicked there because I thought we were fitted with number 1. So we've currently got this one fitted, and we're actually doing all right with it. So that's not too bad, but it's really something we have to think about when we're going forward. So we're going to go to the first practice. And as I think I've said before, I'm going on my previous setups. So basically I take my setups, what I used last year, what were preferable to my driving style and stuff, and I don't generally have to change them too much. Have a little bit, but not too much.
What is expected to be a compelling race weekend. Well, it all begins today with practice.
I've just realised there I've let the intro run in as well, so there's a chance that this video will get there's a chance that this video will get scrapped. I've just realised. I'll explain it in a second. I'm going to stop the broadcast, then I'm going to start again, so I'll be 2 seconds. Okay, so sorry about the pause there. The reason is that
programs to run during these practice sessions. You can check the details in the car monitor. We'll get good data for both the race and factory teams, so they're well worth running.
Okay, thank you. So the reason I stopped the stream there was I got into a little bit of trouble with YouTube for a copyright infringement the other day, which is the Formula 1 intro there that you see. And the funny thing is, when it first went out on one of my videos, it got called as being monitored. So basically they were making sure that I wasn't actually using any particular F1 material within my stream. But then in the second one, the video just got pulled completely. So I've had to put in a review for it, but that's going to take nearly a month to review. So I've lost that video pretty much, because I'm probably not even going to get it back. Well, I might get it back, because I think they'll see how I'm using it. They'll be able to see on my channel how I use it. So I could get it back, but it's going to be a long process and it's not worth it. So I need to remember that at the beginning of all of these things, as soon as that music plays, I get off it. So I'm just setting my car up to my liking now, but I don't know if these are gonna, I don't always know if these are going to work.
Okay, the circuit is clear at the moment. We're good to go.
It's more hopeful than anything else. Because although it worked for me in the last year's edition, it's not sure to work here. There's certain things that I always stick to, like my tyres are pretty much always the same. There's a couple of tracks where it's a little bit different, but my ballast generally is always the same. I think the ballast this year is really important to understand, because if you're not gonna, depending on your driving style, I suppose, but I really need it so that the car's central and it isn't gonna spin out on me. So I really need that, because I can control some
We'll make the changes you requested.
some little things, but I can't control everything, you know, so I don't want to be going off the track as much as I was in, I can't remember which race it was, but I went through a record number of front wings, which by the way, is the only thing we've actually had put onto the car.
Don't push the car just yet.
As in development, apart from everything else, is the durability. So we're going to go out and do the track acclimatization now, because this part's always fun. Don't know what happened there. So as always, if you like the video, like and subscribe. And if you want to ask any questions, feel free to ask any questions in the live chat. I can't always answer them immediately, but once I come to the end of a run, I'll be happy to have a look at them and answer. Oof, sliding around a bit the back end now. I know the track's green, so kind of explains why, but whee. So really on this first lap out, I try and find my braking areas. I actually also do a track acclimatization in lean mix, just because I know I'm not actually pushing the car for time, I'm pushing the car to get around all the corners in the right way and try and find my braking distances. Whoops. It's not going to do me any good. Oi! Well, that's me out.
Let me know you're okay.
So as I said, I don't like losing the back end. And I don't know what happened there actually. I don't know that it was just a concentration issue. Which is one of the reasons I have the green marker on. Yeah, the green marker. Do you know, I've had a long day. My words are failing me at the moment. The racing line. It's just to keep my concentration level up sometimes, because when I start getting into a flow I sometimes lose my concentration and find myself driving through the centre of the village. Okay, so here we go with the track acclimatization. Why is that one only green? That's one missed. This one. I exceeded the track limits. Okay, so there's a couple of corners that are catching me out so far. And my concentration level isn't being helped by my cat romancing my leg at the moment. I'll try and ignore that. Oh, I've missed it.
Good work. You seem to have a solid handle on the lap. Let's try and perfect each turn. Remember that chaining good corners together will give you a consistency bonus.
I'll hit that one this time at least. Okay, so that's better. Pitting. Boxer slap. No. Boxer slap.
This is your final lap of the race.
Well, I hope I don't get a penalty for that because that was definitely my fault. I wasn't watching my mirrors there. The funny thing is, I haven't raced Sochi in such a while. I've actually forgotten where the pit entrance is. The relatively new tracks to the calendar, I sometimes do forget where their entrances are because I've been playing Formula 1 all my life. But last year, F1 2016, I played it a little bit, but I only did 2 years of the career. Whey!
Are you alright? Engine off, engine off.
Okay, so rather than give myself a get out of jail free card, actually I don't think you're allowed to do anything but, which I think's a bit strange that they still haven't done this. So I'll return to the garage and I'll give myself a little bit of a kick up the arse for that one. Okay, so trap acclimatization's okay. We're going to go into do tyre management next, but as I said, because I've had the little off, he says.
Let's prepare ourselves as best we can. We don't want to find ourselves starting at the back.
I'm actually going to give myself a little bit of a penalty, so I'll act as though they're putting a new wing and a new something on my car. I'll take it down to about 10 minutes and then... Okay. So we're going to do the tyre management now. Again, this is something I generally do in lean. I do push it to standard if I have to. If I'm not making the time that I need to on a lap, I'll push it up to standard, but I generally do it in lean. just because it's really not so much time we're going for. Although we are going for target score, we're not going for a specific time, so I'm not interested in pushing the car too hard. And I'm hoping, I can't prove it, but I'm hoping it goes easier on the engine units that we so desperately need to keep as fresh as possible before we take more grid penalties. So I am really enjoying the grip in this year's. I mean, some corners you really feel like Superman. I mean, some of the corners you have to find a braking point. This line is certainly not to be trusted. You know, there's other parts. I've seen it where it's like yellow, but you can really go flat out if you have the right car set up. So you just have to. You know, you have to look for your braking points and your preferable points of doing various bits and bobs, including, for example, I think it's not this one, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. I have to brake a little bit earlier to get through this corner, and that's quite obvious, but there I found quite a nice little braking point. So, you know, my braking point's much earlier than what the computer's telling me, but I mean, I don't trust that so much. A bit tight on that one, but here we go. So, sometimes at the end of the track you get a little bit back, so you have to take that into consideration and not worry too much. You see there, I really got on the accelerator much faster.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
One of the good tips for tyre wear I'll give you is that when you accelerate, just accelerate, you know, slowly. Don't hammer your pedal to the metal, and you'll find that your tyre you end up with a lot more grip, a lot more tread on your tyre than you would expect.
Right, that's the end of the program. Box
So,
this lap so we can analyze the data. Box this lap.
Box this lap.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
So we've got some really good data there, and that's good. Again, I don't want to run my engine too much. It's a really nice track. It reminds me a little bit of the Valencia, or if you're Spanish, the Valencia street track, which I used to enjoy a lot. It's a shame they don't have classic tracks in this game, because I mean they do have the layouts of some of them, so I think they should really keep them in the game if possible. pit entrances now. It's around here, isn't it? Okay, so now that we've done the tyres, I consider this the end of practice 1, and I will jump to practice 2 for my fuel wear and my qualifying run. That's basically how I kind of always go through it. So, and then for my final practice, I always do the race simulation. So once again, thank you for watching, and if you're enjoying the stream, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I do lots of other videos, and I'm also either through the live chat if you want to chat to me in the live chat, or if you send me a message. I do take considerations of other games that I'll play. I'll play pretty much anything once or twice, give it a look over. So you know, I'm always up for recommendations.
Interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top 3. Who are
So
Vettel,
Magnussen
Raikkonen,
always
and
outdoes me
Daniel
in the
Ricciardo.
first session.
That's it for practice then. We'll
There I
see
am
you
down
again
in number
soon.
18, so I'm never ever scared that Magnussen outdoes me. You know, the proof's in the pudding, and that's qualifying. So I really don't worry up until that point. I just want to get all these practice pieces right, go into qualifying prepared, so I know where all my break points are and everything, and then try and blow my way in qualifying. So we got 593 points, which is pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look on the laptop. As I said to you, we've had real big problems with durability, and one of those things, if I can find it, is the gearbox. So the gearbox, this little bit of beauty, is definitely 100% on my list now. I'd even do that one if I get enough credits for it, because this gearbox is really worrying me. Just the car in general is worrying me. It just doesn't have the longevity to go without taking penalties, which is a real shame, because in reality the Haas this year, it's been alright. It's had its problems, but it's been okay. So let's have a look. Session info. So we'll go on to the fuel saving now. I'm gonna start and drive out.
It'll be like a rubber out on track. Try to take it easy for a couple of laps.
So really, in the fuel saving program, it's pretty much similar to the tyre test. So a lot of lifting and coasting, saving a little bit here and there where you can. I think the lap time is pretty similar as well, the expected lap time. So as I always say, if you just drive really cleanly, don't go screeching through corners, you're always going to pass these things, so relatively past them anyway. I've come a little bit under. Every now and again you lose 10-20 points here, but I mean, that's not the end of the world if you lose a bit here and there. The only difference is that on this fuel test you must be in standard, which is kind of understandable. They're not really going to get good feedback if you're running in lean or rich mode all the time. So like I say, I always try and do these things with how I think I'd approach it in real life, because you've got to think that although the computer doesn't simulate everything, you can kind of help it come up with a decent storyline if you stick to your guns. So I do use DRS on this lap. on the fuel saving. I do use DRS because it helps, to be honest. I don't use it on my race simulation because I always try and think of that as being in the middle of the race with no DRS and you're trying to catch up to somebody or something. So okay, so here we go. Okay, so it's pretty good. No, I think I'm good. Box this lap.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
So that wasn't too bad. I think I could have got a little bit of extra on the first sector of the track. But overall, that's not too bad. My car isn't the best when it comes to conserving fuel and using fuel, so I've already found that out in some races where I can be running in standard and still be actually losing fuel, which never happened in previous versions. So definitely there's something about the internal combustion that I need to develop in order to get a bit more reliability in that. I often lose the ability to go into rich mode as well, but that's to do with the eco... I can't remember the name of it now. The eco piece of the MGU, which basically I'm guessing works out what comes from the turbo. What extra power comes from the turbo, sorry, so but we'll see. That's pretty good. I don't like the entry to this pit. That's all. So if you've just joined us and you like what you see, don't forget to click like and hit the subscribe button. After doing this race in Sochi, I will be doing a Madden NFL career mode, also franchise career mode, and maybe a little bit later on in the evening for me, but morning or afternoon wherever you are, maybe. I'm going to try and get a bit of playthrough of the division where I'm leveling up, and anybody who's watching can choose the direction that I'm leveling up. So if you want, you can say hi in the chat, tell me where you're from. If I don't answer straight away, don't worry, I will get to you. Just sometimes takes me a few minutes to see the chat if I'm concentrating on something. Okay, so I'm going to go out into the qualifying pace now. It's going to be on ultra softs, and Just seeing where I am. Slowest on track at the moment, but there's only 5 people being out, so that's not the end of the world. Okay, start. So we're going to drive out.
Checks complete. All personnel be aware we have a car leaving.
Sorry about that, I was concentrating on something else. Whoops. Okay. So I'm just going to put the mix down to lean. This is just basically, if you're wondering why I'm doing that, it's for basically muscle memory. In qualifying I run as little fuel as possible, so I start off the lap in lean and then I'll go into rich mode on the fast lap and then back down into lean on the warm down lap. So I just do it in practice to kind of get into the groove of remembering to always do it, because I used to sometimes forget, get through a few qualifying laps and then realise I'd left it in lean. So it's just more about muscle memory and remembering what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so because in qualifying lap I will be using DRS as well when it's available. Well, these ultra softs definitely changed my mind on my braking distance on that corner, by the way. So with the ultra softs I can brake much later, much later. Okay, so I'm going to switch it up into rich now. Second to last corner, and now it's the flying lap. There's a lot of grip in these tyres coming out of that last corner there. It felt really good. Oh, it feels really good in these tyres, much better than the other 2 sets. I really feel like I can hit these corners much stronger. Oh, that was a bit wrong, but never mind, I got it right at the end. Through DRS. Oh, nearly lost the back end going over that one. Put way too much of the car on it. Fastest lap of the session. I won't keep it, but once those Mercedes and Ferraris and Red Bulls get out, and even the Williams actually sometimes, depending on the track, the Williams is a really good bash at it. I have heard some rumblings that the Williams is a little bit overpowered in this game. It's not very realistic, but let's face it, they've been out of the limelight for a long time and they need their time again, be it virtual or not. Williams is a team I would consider, my main consideration in this Haas is to make it, you know, one of the best cars in Formula 1. in the 10-year period that I'll be doing this career. But if Williams come knocking, I don't know. If I say near, it means I'll have to have a private second career where I can drive for Williams, because I'll feel really bad turning them down. But box.
Say again, you're breaking up.
Box this lap.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Should have probably got a penalty for going over there, to be honest with you. I might actually try my voice attack on this game, because you can actually program it with what you want to say, and then it kind of does a load of button imprint, like you were doing something. So I really like that. If you have a PC and you've never tried voice attack, it can be really helpful for some games, especially click intensive games. Okay, so with that one over, that is going to be the end of our qualifying pace, and so we're going to fast forward now and go to practice session 3, where we'll put in our race pace test, or our race simulation. So there you go, you can see everybody's going to start jumping above me now. And they're doing it on super softs as well. I'm on the ultra soft, so. I love it when this ends, because it'll say I'm in third, but then once oh no, it hasn't knocked me down. I'm quite surprised there.
Vettel, Bottas, and a Haas. Practice times are on the board then, but no.
They really need to work on that thing where it says and a Haas. I remember in F1 2000 and I'm going to go out on a limb and say 2010, 11 maybe, when you used to do the interviews in the paddock, it would know your name. I don't understand how they've managed to just get rid of all that now. Okay, so let me just check the ID. 195 points. Just having a quick look at the wear. It's 19, 13, 23 already. That's from the energy store unit. Wow. Okay, gearbox 16%. It's crazy, this, especially for this house. Okay, we're going to go to practice 3. So this is why I took the grid penalty in the last race, is because I got that extra piece of everything just to kind of prepare for the future. I thought, well, now I've got a few points, I'll take the hit, and if I don't do so well, don't do so well. So let's have a look. So we're going to do the race strategy now on super softs.
Okay, the track is green right now, so take a few laps to get the tyres up to temperature.
So as I said, I do this in standard. I don't do DRS. I don't use the DRS, sorry. And I keep the car in standard. So what I'm trying to give them is data for actual race pace. So if I don't hit the target score, that's my problem. The AI level is 68, I think, if I remember rightly. I did a test. I think it could be I'll be honest with you, I think without restarting the career it could probably be around 72, 75. It's a much better way of choosing the air level, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't got my head quite around it yet. But I've definitely felt that at the beginning, specifically at the beginning of some races, they haven't been as aggressive as I would like them to be. It is something I should actually have a quick look into. I've been so busy playing this in Madden, the new Madden NFL, over the last few days. I really haven't been on message boards or anything much to have a look at what the standards are properly yet. I just have to remember my braking distance for the back corner. Otherwise I'll be flying off the track into the wall. Because with those ultra softs I just absolutely stuck to the track and it felt great, but I know that with these super softs it just isn't going to cut it the same braking distance. That was force of habit there. Right, so my braking distance was here. Oops. Damn it. So there was a bit of slide there, the back end was going out, so I just had to quickly correct it. Which I haven't had a lot of problems with since, I think it was China where I had really bad problems with that back end going out. And then I made a couple of changes to the ballast, moved it just a little bit forward and managed to keep the car a bit more under control. Too much brake on that corner. Okay, so I'm going to try and push it a little bit more here on this braking distance because I just want to check exactly where it is. So I'm going to give it a fraction of a second after the previous one. So now instead of there, maybe feels a little bit better. That's the one corner I really have to be careful about in the race because I know it's the corner that I want to throw the car right down the middle of to get ahead of somebody, and if I'm not braking at the right point I'm going to find myself needing a new nose cone pretty quickly.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
Box this lap.
Understood. Stopping this lap. laps of fuel remaining.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, it's not perfect, but as I said in this Haas at the moment, the way it is, there's no way I'm going to be hitting perfect half the time. Once I start getting the durability up and I can really push the car much harder, I would be expecting a few more perfect scores. But for example, if I can take this and move on to the next and save a bit of the engine, save a bit of the energy system, then that's what I'll do. Allow them to take huge grid hits in the future. Ah, too much, come on. We're way too deep there. Okay, so we're going to move on to qualifying now. Unless I can invest any points, but I don't think I'm going to have enough to invest. That's another thing. This year they've definitely made it. The points are pretty much still at the same levels, but there's so much more to invest in. You just cannot get those things as quickly as you want. But particularly with this Haas, I cannot believe how badly it goes through. How it just chews through things. And I'm not sure if that's different with each car that you're in. Well, I'm sure it is, that each cars have different levels, and then you can add to them and whatnot. So you can see I've got 3 perfects in the general things I would have set. My qualifying pace, tyre management, and acclimatization. Could have maybe done better on the fuel saving, to be honest with you. Full throttle, coasting, 7% braking, 12. Okay, so we're going to move on to qualifying. To see what my timings were. Oof, way down. So this is normally where I expect to be around what Kevin Magnussen's doing, but he's actually slower than me with the ultra softs, which is good because he's jumped above me now. Spoke too soon. He outdid me in the qualifying in the last race, which meant that I lost a few points against him.
Over the line, your top 3 again are Hamilton, Vettel, and.
So I really don't want that happening again. I think I should be able to beat him pretty easily. So let's see what my qualifying expectations are.
That we've had the team's expectations through for the upcoming qualifying session.
So 13th, okay. I think I can do 13th. I would hope I can. So we're going to go to qualifying 1.
Welcome F1 fans.
Okay, so I'll just make sure my setup's right in there. Yep, okay. So, let's have a look. Session info. Okay, so Hamilton's already out. So if Hamilton's out, I think I probably should be going out, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm happy for it to be in part Fermi rules by now, because I think the setup feels really good actually. There's just a few times I've lost the back end a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's just because I'm riding the curbs a little bit, and there has been a few times when I've taken the car half across the curb, so nobody else is coming out, which is nice. Now, the one thing I don't want, and let's face it, it's probably going to happen, is this curse of qualifying. And what it is that it seems that Codemasters have coded it so that when you come around to do your fast lap, they release somebody from the pits right into your first corner, which basically puts you completely off it. I think it's to give you heightened drama, so you go around for a second one, but it's a little bit annoying, I'm going to be honest, because it's happening every single race. If it happened every second or third race, I'd generally be okay to oops, I need to change that down. I'd generally be happy to kind of sit back and let it happen, but as it's happening every race at the moment, it's becoming really annoying. Because it's literally just as you come around to start your first speeding lap, there he is, somebody coming right out the pits at you, so... Just going to give him a little bit of a lead off. I'm not so cocky as to think I'm going to need a huge amount, but it's better to have that space to work in just in case he makes any mistakes. I think one of the surprising elements of this year's version is the retirements. They seem to be more in line with how it would be in a race, which is pretty exciting to see. It just means that they're getting it a little bit better every time. Okay, so we're going to start our flying lap now. There. Much more fluid. That was, oh, and I messed that one up though because the back end started going out. Still get a good time, just lost a couple of hundredths.
You're into P3. P3 on the grid.
So let's see what we can do on this lap, see if we can make up any extra time. If I get about halfway around, I'll start taking the lap seriously, but I've messed up there, so that's pretty much it done. It's got a bit too excited, I think, there, about putting in the second lap. I might be able to make it up, but I very much doubt it.
Kevin's currently in P5.
I don't know. Ericsson really needs to move over here. I'm just backing off a tiny bit because I really need to find somewhere. It's this next one where I'm going to be able to take him on the straight using the DRS. But I've lost that time I had, so... I've done that. Well, I saved it, so it's not too bad. Box this lap.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
I have to remember to brake a bit sooner on that entrance as well, because I'm not going to do myself any good there. So what I'll generally do is I'll do this qualifying stint, see how well I'm doing towards the last 3 minutes. If I'm in deep crap, I go to step 2, which is where I know I can shave some time off. If I do well, I go into the next round and then do step 2 later on. So at the moment I'm 4th, so I'm going to run it down to about 3 minutes. I'm going to get pushed down, but so I think I'm going to be safe here, much safer than I thought. Mind you, there was a big jump there. So 11th, okay. So 11th I can handle. Kevin Magnussen's 14th, so that'll do me. As we go into Q2.
All set. Everyone clear? Car to track.
I'm sorry, I've become less and less talkative as qualifying goes on, because I'm just trying to kind of get into a groove of each and every one of the corners and not speaking too much. During practice tend to talk a lot, and even during the race at certain points I'll have a bit of a chit chat. Okay, so if I dip my nose a little bit tighter in there, I can get a good exit on it. Okay, here we go. This is the fast lap. Oops, take some more lads. That's 10 points. Okay, so I'm quite happy with it so far. This first half of the lap's been pretty good. That's a good exit. I like that. Okay.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap.
Yeah, but that's only because I was the first out. Box this lap.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
It will be a good day when I can hear that though, when I know that when I develop the car and they say P1, that's going to be an exciting day. Okay, so pretty happy with that. I don't think I'll get into Q3, but if a miracle happens, I'll actually probably not even try to fight for a position because it'll not be worth it. But I can certainly choose to go onto super softs and try to start the race in a position where I can actually finish on the ultra softs rather than start. How you doing, Awesome Sauce, for the win? That's a long name. Where are you from?
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:39.6.
It's like I've said before, if it does take a few minutes for me to answer you, don't worry, it's not that I'm being rude or I'm ignoring you, it's because I have to look down for the chat on my tablet and it's not always easy until I've actually finished a part of the track, or at least finished the session. So what have we got? We've got 8th. Okay, so we're in 3rd. Wow. Okay, well, I didn't think we'd squeeze in there at all. Okay, so we're gonna go to not that one. Go to that one. And like I said, I'm gonna change the tires over. Oops. Wherever they are. I can't change tires. Where is my tire change?
If you start to suffer from oversteer,
Don't know if I'm going crazy here or whether I actually don't have the option. No, it's there, you idiot. Right. So we'll go on to super softs. For this one other thing I need to change actually. is a fuel load. We're going to bring it right down here. Try it with 7 kilograms.
Checks complete. We're ready.
This is probably when it's going to do that thing that it does, which it'll throw an AI car out and I'll come around from a fast lap. Okay, so I'm going to go down to lean because we need to save as much fuel as possible with this. So even with this Ferrari behind me, you're going to see me coast through a few more corners if he wants to go. If he wants to overtake me, that's his choice. Oof, I'm on the racing line now. Sorry, mate. So basically, because I'm on the super softs, I've really whacked the fuel down so I can go much lighter, which will give me a little bit more time. So it might give me a similar lap time to the one I got before, because I've actually taken quite a few kilograms of fuel out. So but we'll have to see. Now, I do have a secondary car behind me, in between me and the Ferrari, so I really do need to try and keep position and not have to be fighting somebody on the qualifying lap. So I almost have to go into racing mode for these last few corners. Okay, here we go. Fast lap. I got a really good exit out of that one. That felt really good. Oh, and that one, I had to lift off just a tad, but it felt like a really good exit. That one, not so much. Because there's times when you can push these cars much harder than you think sometimes.
Fuel is marginal. We're close to using up the load. Pit in within 2 laps.
Just wrecked the lap. Oh well. It's worth a shot. I'll set a time, but
That lap puts you at P5.
yeah, I'm gonna get P8, I'm sure. But it's not the end of the world. It was a good run around. It was just, I think there was 2 corners there that lost me. So I've said before, and I keep saying, but if you're enjoying the stream, hit that subscribe button. We'll be running these live shows quite often. I don't just stream F1, I stream Madden, I stream Elite Dangerous, The Division. I was actually doing a Last of Us broadcast as well, so I do a lot of different things. And I'm also open to requests as well if anybody wants me to stream a certain game. And I always try to do them live just so you can see, just so you can get my live reaction. Boxy slap.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Okay, so that's going to be it. I think we're going to finish eighth position. Would be my guess. Very surprised if I get any higher than that. I do like Sochi. It is one of my more favourite tracks. Sochi, Canada, Barcelona. I live near the track in Barcelona, so I generally have a really good gist of how it goes. So these are my favourite tracks. I always do well at these tracks. And Spa, depending on how I feel, I can do really well at Spa some days. Right, let's have a look. So still says 5th, but I can't see it myself. Okay, I'll take that. Wow.
Bottas, Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. It's time to leave for now, but we'll be back tomorrow when the Grand Prix
I'm surprised with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go back to the paddock, and I'm going to take a 3-minute break from this live stream just to grab some water and do a couple of other necessary things, but this will be 2 or 3 minutes and I'll be coming back for the start of the race. I'll go to the beginning of the race, but I won't start for a couple of minutes. So I'm beating Magnussen here, but unfortunately I didn't get any faster sectors. So you can see that Red Bull are really interested in me at the moment. Renault interest has peaked as well. Mercedes a little bit interested. Ferrari no interest whatsoever. But that's okay because I hate them anyway.
Hi, it's Emma here. Just wanted to let you know what the team are hoping for in the race.
Okay, 10th position. Okay, that's not too bad to ask for.
Well then, after an exciting
Okay, so
have some space going into the first corner, so try to keep it tidy.
okay, so what I'm just gonna do now is I'm gonna run my little channel trailer. I'm gonna go to grab some water, and I'll be 2 minutes, and then we'll start the race. Okay, so I'm back, ready to go into the race. And first we're going to have a look at the strategy. Oh, so we are going to have to start in ultra softs anyway. Oh, that's a shame. I think it's because I set my fastest lap on it, isn't it? So, fuel load, going to have to put some extra fuel in here because I'm not going to make it. I'm going to go for 13.5 laps. And we're going to stick with that one. So we're going to go one stop.
Clutch bite is good, gearbox is responding normally. Make sure to warm up the tyres and brakes. Warm the tyres and brakes throughout the lap.
Okay, so we're just going to have a little bit of a bubble on the formation. I'll get these tyres up to scratch and these brakes up to scratch if possible. Don't want to be horrible accident in China where I crashed out on the formation lap. Didn't even know that was possible. It was my own fault though. Let's make sure I'm not getting too far ahead or too far behind. Okay, so it's going to automatically reform me here. Now somebody must have got a... I didn't even realise, but I've been moved up to place 4, so somebody had a penalty that I didn't notice.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
So that's a bit of a bonus. No way I'm going to hold this position though. Not a bad start. Actually, much better start than I envisaged. Oh, somebody's taking me from behind. No, 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 no.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay.
Okay, 1 second. It's making me restart this, but somebody just came in from behind. Who is it? It's Massa and Stroll by the looks of it. And there's not a lot I can do to get out of this. They've done it again. Okay, right, I'm going to have to play on with this. It's a driver sandwich right there. Absolutely no control of that. But let's see if we can make a race out of this. I don't mind a challenge. Whoop. I also don't mind a bit of downforce if possible.
We think there's a viable strategy change available to us. Would you like to keep to the current plan or try the new one?
Change the strategy, I think.
Copy that.
Yeah, I think Hulkenberg's got problems as well by the way he's dropping out of that corner. So unfortunately, there's just no way I can continue with this nose cone. So, but at least we might be able to get off these tyres. I could maybe go lean and try and push these next tyres to the end of the race, actually. It's an option. Well, that's great. A promising start comes to nothing, or a promising qualifying and everything comes to nothing, but I guess you've just got to take the rough and the smooth sometimes. There's nothing more I can really do about it. Thoroughly disappointed. I'll be storming into the Williams garage after the race. Give Felipe Massa a clap over the head. So yeah, the Renault's got a problem as well. Hopefully I can get out before he comes in.
Release.
He's getting a new nose cone as well, so I don't know why the Williams didn't need a new nose cone, because they both...
To speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
I'm just going to try and find out what my expected pit window. Yeah, I think they're expecting me to try and nurse these tyres to the end of the race as well. So this is going to be a bit lonely now until everybody else starts their pit stop strategies. I'm going to be driving a pretty lonely track. I could kill Massa for that. I really could. Even when it forced me to do the flashback, I just couldn't. You couldn't get out of that move. Those both of them just sandwiching you together. So really now my strategy is to just beat Magnussen. If I can just beat Magnussen, who I know I'm faster than, so if I can just beat him, I'll be happy. Doesn't look like anybody's come into the pits. I am catching up on the field by the looks of it. When you take into consideration how slow I was and coming into the pits and everything, so
DRS has been enabled.
there is hope yet. Wrong button. Driver in front.
Alonso is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 17.6 seconds. They're on fresh ultra softs. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:45.1.
This is 17.8 seconds.
Looks like Ricardo has just entered the pits.
must have had an accident himself. So really, I don't want to try to pass Ricciardo yet. Or Ricardo, whichever one people call him. I don't want to pass him yet because we need to get to the second DRS line, otherwise he's just going to have a go right back at me, so that's going to be a completely pointless battle at this point because he's definitely in the better car, so... Mind you, he's getting away from me, so I don't know if I'm going to get the DRS here actually. Maybe the next lap. Oh, come on. Concentration.
Our gap to our teammate is 29.5 seconds. Right, some information on Ricardo. They seem to have an issue.
That's good news. Oh yeah, I'm catching him now. There's one down. Driver in front.
Perez ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 3.9 seconds. They're on fresh super softs.
Pressed the wrong button there, I do apologise.
Gap to car in front is 4.2 seconds.
Yeah, I can see him. Somebody's in the pits there. So I've moved up to 14th, okay, so we're working now. But this is because people are coming in on their pit stop strategy in these next couple of laps, so this lap and the next lap I should be able to grab a couple of places, but then it all comes down to when I go in for my pit stop, which the strategy still hasn't told me yet, which is strange because I don't think I can get to the end on these. I'd be very, very surprised. Dude, there's only 11% tyre wear, we'll have to see. Maybe I can, if I treat them with a lot of respect.
Is now running the super soft tyre. That's the super soft on the car behind.
Driver ahead.
Understood, copy that.
Driver in front.
Perez is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 3.4 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. The time last lap was a 2:4.5.
Okay, so I'm going to beat a couple on the pits here. And on, Bellline. this way it's going to get a bit tasty now. I start catching up to these ones. Somebody's gone wide as well, or somebody's got a problem, so that's good. Oof. He didn't show himself very well, did he? That was Verstappen. So, like I said before, the good thing is I haven't seen as many safety cars in this year's iteration, which is really good. I loved the safety cars last year, but I just think it's too much. Whee! Hey Rebellio, I can see you've written something, I just can't see what it is at the moment because I'm concentrating, but nice to see you. Okay, so we're up to 11th, this is not too bad. I do have some extra fuel if I need to make a push in the final few laps of the race. So that fuel's there in reserve. So I'm going to try and trail Palmer to the chase Palmer to the next DRS, and then I should be able to get him on it.
Caution, caution.
Bits of a car there, that's why I took a bit of caution. I don't know what the heck that is there.
5.0 seconds. Okay, some information on site. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
I'm guessing it's terminal if the car's on the side of the wall. Kvyat slowed down as well, that's a good sign.
Green flag.
Still got Palmer on the next DRS. Oh, I cut the corner way too much there. Now I'm going to lose him because he's just going to get a way better exit than I did. Now, I didn't want to take Magnussen there because I'd have felt it would have been incorrect. I think sometimes using your car as a battering ram isn't the way to take a position. Going down the inside in a stop like this is. So we're going to be racing on the exit. Got the better.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining. Our gap to the car in front is 2.9 seconds.
So Magnussen was my aim basically. So now I'm past him. I'm happy, although there's something. Yeah, I just noticed that. I don't really need the DRS, to be honest, at the moment, unless Magnussen can get right up on me and utilise DRS for himself. But I can just make the car big. For the time being. Okay, so I think I've managed to get rid of him here. I don't think he's going to have the second on me. Yeah, I've got him in my tail now, so there's no way. I don't think he's going to make it back unless I make a big mistake. Which hopefully with three laps left I'm not going to do. Especially when I still feel these 2 places in front are up for grabs. If I can just get a bit more, I'll be honest with you, lap 12 I'll be turning my fuel up. I've got 0.73 laps on me, so I think that I can use that to my advantage. Said that I don't know if I should use it now. Well, I've still got the tyres.
Is 1.7 seconds.
The thing is that they've got DRS here, so I'm actually going to pump it up. Oh, fighting each other, and Perez nearly collected me. Perez is right up my back. Aye! Well, I'm glad I saved the car there. It was close, but normally I don't go for overtaking manoeuvres like that, but I felt after that beginning I don't care, and it was Lance Stroll, so that was one of the cars involved in actually pushing me off the track. So if you think that I care about him, he's got another thing coming. Shouldn't have barged me off.
Distance to the leader is 22.3 seconds.
Still not out of danger of DRS yet.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target.
To standard.
Down to mix too soon.
Oh crap, that was a bad one. Well, actually it wasn't too bad, but I don't want Perez pulling up too much on me. I don't want too much of a fight on my hand going into the final lap. I might get a warning for that corner cut.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
It's okay, we're doing alright. 4.41. Actually, I think I can go back into the rich mode. think I need to worry too much about that for this final lap. I think I need it as well. Perez is going to really push up on me. He's going to go into rich fuel mode, I'm sure, if he's got any... if he's got anything about him. So this really is now about just making sure you take all your corners correctly. Don't go too crazy. Don't brake too late.
The gap to the car behind is 1.5 seconds.
Okay, I've definitely beaten with that reserve. Magnussen's still back there somewhere, but I've beaten him, and it'll be interesting what developments are going to be put into place now for the next race, because that's a really important part now. That's really when I've got that development, making the car better is important.
A great win then for the Mercedes team today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship.
Okay, so
it wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader.
we finished 2 places ahead of Kevin Magnussen, which is pretty good.
Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Difficult call, Crofty, but I'd like to say Sergio Perez.
Ah,
He's just so gifted at...
can't believe they gave it to Sergio Perez. Okay, well, I'm pretty pleased with that result. I think the management should be pleased. I've beaten my teammate, so that's going to give me some extra bits and bobs. I'm just hoping I've got enough development points to do. Oh, do you have to do one of these right now? Okay, I'll do the checkpoint challenge, I think. Okay, so this is one of the new extras, if you haven't seen these before. You kind of get a contract with this rich guy, and you get different things. So it's saying race against the clock to complete the required laps before the time runs out, or from a rolling start race around the track to cover the target distance before time runs out. Additional times added to your limit with each checkpoint crossed. So we'll try this one. This is a new one for me. I think the last one I did was the overtaking challenge. Some of these cars are horrible to drive, but so I actually quite like Brazil. I think I'm in a McLaren, I think. No? Couldn't tell you what I'm in. A really loud car. That's all I can say. Oof, a loud car that slips a lot. Almost zero grip in this car. That sound is haunting. I do like the Brazil track. It's one of the tracks that I pretty much know by the back of my hand, to be honest. I've just raced around it since Jeff Crammon's original Grand Prix on the Amiga 500, which was an awesome game. Really, what truly was. The only time I don't like driving in Brazil is in the rain, because this last corner here is really squeaky bum time. So the back end was going out there. I don't know if you crash the car if you lose your contract or anything. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know exactly how that worked. Because luckily I haven't crashed the car yet, but it's not easy. I'll tell you that much. No pressure. Don't want to be on there. 6, 5, 4, 3. Oof. Just got it. I don't think I'm going to make the next one, but we can hope. Maybe if I brake late and accelerate early. 5, 4, 3, 2. Well, I'm not going to do it, am I? Just missed it. By about half a second, I think. Yeah, that was the McLaren as well. Oh well, I did actually pass it, so that's okay. Hasn't automatically taken me here, has it, to Spain? No. Good.
Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car.
Oh, it has.
Simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
So luckily we've got some gearbox durability, which is really, really important. If you've been watching any of the other videos, you'll know that I had to. We're having problems with durability with this Haas. Is the worst thing. There's other problems as well, but the durability is the absolute worst problem. So we haven't even got enough points at the moment to even go down another step with it. But that's okay. I mean, that's not the biggest problem. So here we are at Circuit de Catalunya, but unfortunately that's going to be the end of my live stream for today. I'm only doing Sochi. But if you liked what you saw, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and feel free to join me another time when I'll be streaming, probably tomorrow, when I'll be streaming the next round of this from Spain. Okay, thanks for watching.